A pleasant good afternoon to the party. Welcome on behalf of the Voting Bureau on this postulation day. I'd like to give your representative the opportunity to present your list, and then after that, you can say a few words to the public if you'd like. I'll peruse your list very briefly, and while you speak.
People of St. Martin, the wonderful, beautiful, strong, hard-working candidates of the United People's Party, and my deputy leader, my brother and my friend. Today is a very important day for St. Martin because St. Martin has just presented the list of the most capable, the most dedicated, and the people who love St. Martin so much that despite whatever is said, despite whatever challenges we face, they know, we know, that we are the best team to lead this country. That's a fact. St. Martin for a long time has dealt with what? Instability. We solved it. We've dealt with issues and buildings like the hospital being completely stagnant. We started. Today is the day that we begin our journey to finish it, to continue the work of the people of St. Martin in a way that every single voter that casts their vote on one of these wonderful people here, myself and our deputy leader, can be proud, can be confident that for the next 4 years, we will be well represented in the Parliament of St. Martin, and we will be well represented in the government of St. Martin. We are capable, we are dedicated, and our love for St. Martin, no one can ever question. Every day that I come to this Parliament, every day that this minister enters the government building, we have one thing on our mind, one thing in our heart. That's the people of St. Martin deserve good representation. They deserve hard work. They are tired of excuses. And whatever ills any person could have had of any government, one thing they can stay confident in this Parliament and in this government, when you have someone from the United People's Party in there, we get the job done. I want to wish everyone a great election. Listen to the issues. Don't be fooled by just promises. Look at the track record and the ability of the people that we have presented here today and the burning desire to serve. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you today the winning list of the United People's Party for the January 2024 election. The United People's Party. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, MP Bryson. I've noted that you submitted a list for 23 candidates. We will peruse that list on Monday, according to the law, on the 27th. On the 28th of November, you'll be notified in writing by the Voting Bureau whether your list is in order or if there are any defaults. If there are defaults, you're given a 3-day period to cure those by the 1st of December. In the meantime, on the behalf of the Voting Bureau, I would like to congratulate your party. And also, I have this proof of submission for you that you can take with you. So if you want to come over and grab this. And of course, as a party that already has a seat currently in Parliament, you're exempted from the endorsement requirements tomorrow. So congratulations and good luck.
Good evening. Why say good evening again? We didn't leave. Okay, we didn't leave. Guys, we back again for those who just meet us who in traffic. I mean, you still got traffic. Christmas done, but still got traffic. But anyway, we have our other candidate in the house with us, Mr. La Cruz. La Cruz. Dios mío. La Cruz. La Cruz. Okay, tonight we have the up party in the house with us. Candidate number 23. La Cruz in the house with us.
I'm gonna have to say it for you.
Yes, let's go.
It is La Cruz.
La Cruz. Okay, La Cruz. We have La Cruz in the house with us tonight. We're gonna ask him a big question with us. That's the first time I can tell you, if I'm not mistaken. So he come with a big team. For those of background, you guys ain't gonna see, but they got a big team inside there. Those was before that team, but they have a big team. They got a bigger team. So with you, we gonna question him about the election. Why you in election? And something, we like to ask certain questions. And with the first question being who you is, we will come to that. So Tomika Janet's still in the house with me. Janet's still in the house with me. Janet's still there with me. She can't go. So because we're training for the 11, because the 11, I don't know until what time. You guys make sure the voters come up early in the Peru Central office. Come fast. Okay.
So we go home early.
Yes. Good evening, monsieur. How are you?
Good evening, everyone. Listeners.
Welcome to Youth Radio.
First time?
The first time?
Yeah.
You're welcome. I hope it's not the last one, because you fellas, when I get elected, I don't come no more as MPs. I ain't got no more time.
Well, I am not one of those.
Okay.
I like to keep in communication with the people, so we know, and I like people to hold me accountable.
Okay.
So I like how you said already. Once elected,
yes,
and those people don't want to come back. So that's already in the right direction. Positive thinking.
So how are you?
Good.
What you doing in politics? Because I come in with a question who you are, but who you is. But what you doing in politics?
I reach a point where of pure frustration.
Okay.
With how things were going in the country, and sitting up behind Facebook all the time complaining. That don't make no sense. So I know I could do the job. So that's why I got involved.
So I gonna leave Janet answer the question, the big question, we will ask. Janet, you have the floor.
I have two things. Who you for? That's the main question. Who you for? And tell us about yourself.
So, in St. Martin, that's something that is extremely important, right? When they ask, who you from, because people associate you then, with the background. And so I am Francisco Alberto La Cruz. I was raised right here in Galles Bay.
Okay.
Like a Maga. If I mention this name, you will know exactly where and what type of upbringing was given to me.
Let's go.
It's Miss Ruby Butte.
Okay. I'll see which part of Galles were you from.
Jackie Flanders, Elfrida Butte, Leonie Flanders.
Okay.
This one I left the French side when I was about 12 years old, and moved to the Dutch side. I've always been to school on the Dutch side. My mom is Dominican. I myself was born in the Dominican Republic. That's why when you ask in what language, I told you English, Dutch, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Creole, doesn't matter.
Okay.
I understand everything and defend myself properly in most languages. I left here when I was 18, went to the military, went to Aruba, spent a couple of years in the military, then decided to go back to school, went to Holland, studied, spent a good amount of years in Holland, got married, came back to St. Martin, pure frustration in Holland also, with the whole system. And that's where I met Ms. Boyrad. We were colleagues in school, in PSVE. I spent about 6 or 7 years there. left very disgruntled, you know, which is something that keeps coming up. And I like to touch on it. I love to touch on it because the Boyrad is in front of me. And it is difficult to have that type of discussion without someone that could attest to the truth, you know. So while they're at the school, and basically looking at how things were going in the school, I was one of those that had a big mouth. And whenever you're somewhere that you have a big mouth,
You get trouble. You get trouble for you.
yes. So they created a story and tried to put all kind of things in place, and it didn't work. I dragged them through court over and over and over, got paid properly for defamation. But at the end of the day, it don't matter because that word is already out there, you know. So then you got a lot of what I call clowns, clown of the year, you know, that would make comments, you know, but to me, don't matter. I am in there to work for government, not to enrich myself. I don't promise nobody nothing that I cannot deliver. And that is why my slogan is, he gets it done. So, with such said, what I would love to tell all you guys is why I chose to be in politics, what I want to do while I'm there in office, and where the country will be by the time I leave politics.
So today we see you with the UP party, and we know UP had 4 years in office, just like the NA. And people will say, yeah, these guys, they really do nothing, they talk. Your leader come pull up laws. We see the fight with, I don't call them veteran politicians, saying what the law doing for the country. Today you as a candidate on that party, how it come? Because we know last election, if I do my research good, you was here too. And why UP party?
So if you look at the track record from the UP party, it has been the only party that could deliver and get things done. I don't care what nobody says. You have a job as a parliamentarian. Your job is to amend, create, bring laws to the floor. Be they pass or not, it don't matter. It is your job to bring them. Okay? Now, for example, in government, I encounter something that I want to do and the law needs amending. I could pick up the phone and call MP Bryson and say, hey, MP, we have a situation. This and this we want to do, but this is a hindrance. What can you do? He could pop, puts it together. It's on the floor. We're moving forward. And that's how government actually works or gets to do its job. Okay? And that's the only party that I see that. That's the only party I see that. If I think MP Bryson has brought 21 laws. Minister Otley, what we call it, Minister of everything. We have Minister Lambrix in there. There's the two ministries that we have function properly and get things done. So I'm not saying that the National Alliance don't do their part, but that's not why I am here. That's not my business. My business is the NA is theirs and mine is the UP party.
So today, when you watch a country after 4 years, and you been, I believe, you was around the party, you never leave the party, and if you have to say, listen, we work for 4 years, and now I'm a candidate. What's your goal as a candidate for January 11th?
When you start a project, everyone wants to see it materialize. And there are a couple projects that I have started, and slowly but surely now I see, hey, this is going to happen, and it will benefit the country. One of the things that why my name has been called so much, and why you see all the buses and taxis was because I decided 2.5 years ago that we needed to clean up the transport system. Okay. A lot of drivers were being taken advantage of. paying a fee for a permit that costs nothing to the individual that received it, but also individuals that give themselves and their family members, a big amount of permits to rent out. Now, I don't have a problem if you saw a potential business, while you were there, whatever. But I think it is advantageous, and if you're going to do something like that, do it right and pay your taxes that you're supposed to pay, and not find loopholes in it. I for sure am not one of those that will ever take a permit, be there or out of there, because I think that there are enough people out there that need it more than I do, and they could push that themselves.
Because we talking about permit, we talking about traffic. I don't know, maybe we don't ask you the question at the end, but for now we in the MPC of government, and how you see the traffic situation? Because right now, okay, we come up from Christmas in January, but we still have this traffic 4 o'clock, 4:30, Colby. How you see government could fix that? Because we had candidates tell you have to mark the flow. You have other candidates say you have to do some way. How you see that traffic situation, you could fix it.
So I think we need to do two things. One is, because of the way our infrastructure was put together, it was never put together in a way that St. Martin, I don't think no one knew or anticipated how busy St. Martin was going to be when they decided, hey, here we're going to put a road. Okay? So I was a couple of months ago in Monaco. Okay. And strange enough, I think 90% of the streets in Monaco are underground. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why can't we do this? We can. So I think, for example, a tunnel from the causeway, the new bridge, going over to Betty Estate, Saunders there would be helpful. One from St. Peter's going to Dutch Water would be helpful. The bridge in Simpson Bay, I think that should be a monument. That bridge should remain open at all times, and then a tunnel should pass beneath where cars could flow through straight. And maybe a tunnel from somewhere, Cahill, KB, or KB, coming out in Cahill, there by the hospital, Bel Air. That will alleviate traffic a lot. That is one. And the next thing is a plan to carry out the inspection on vehicles. Vehicles now on St. Martin, if you look, you see cars that are practically run down, still on the road.
Yeah.
Smoking up the place. So if we carry that up, we could say, hey, a car is allowed 10 years on the road, and then we could actually sell it to another country or do something else with it. So, for example, in Japan, that's why you see a lot of cars that have a left-hand side driver. Cars in Japan are allowed to drive only for 3 years. Okay. After 3 years, they shut out and they're shipped away, but it's environmentally friendly. So I think those are two things that actually could work. I had a conversation with the CFO of the airport, and he told me he worked before for a company in the Netherlands that builds tunnels. Okay. So I told him, the first week that I'm in office, that's a conversation we need to have with that company and move that forward. And then government will, jump right away. Hey, how are we going to pay for that toll? A toll. Everywhere else where there's a new highway being built or tunnel, there's a toll.
Yeah.
So if I ask you, do you rather stand or sit in your car for 3 hours or pay 50 cents, 75 cents on the toll? That's a rhetorical question. The answer is, now that will generate money for the country because taxes will have to be paid on what they collect. It will save the population a lot of fuel. Health-wise, it's a lot better. If I drive anywhere during the day with my window down for half an hour, the next day I have a migraine. with the fumes. So how much kids do we have right now suffering from asthma? So these are things, these are all plans that I have that don't only touch one ministry, but helps in general a lot of different things.
Janet, the floor is yours.
First, you talk about when you talk about the cars and the fumes, that's already helped, right? Tell me, what is your plan for this dump? Do you have an idea what to do with them? What to bring forward to? It's an eyesore, it's a health problem. What is the plan?
So listen, I'm the type of person that when I have a plan, it's never a one-phase plan. Okay. The first thing before we even touch the dump, we need to educate our kids from kindergarten. So in kindergarten, you put 3 garbages, and the teachers start to teach the kids to separate their garbage. Recycling. You do that in the homes also. You do that where people dispose of their garbage outside, and then we could start with the dump. It makes no sense we start cleaning up the dump and our people are still not educated to separate garbage. When we came back from Holland, and my son looked at me like, Daddy, we hear you throw everything in one garbage. And it was, for him, it was strange because he always saw different. So that is something that has to happen, one. The next thing is the problem with the dump. And do I say this or do I not? Yes, I do say it. You know what the problem is, right? That everybody wants to shine.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to shine. So you have an idea, and the next one will hold it, pull it down because it's not their idea, or they ain't getting nothing out of it. I don't care about those things. I have helped with a lot of things in the three years and change that I am in the cabinet. And I've never sought any type of praise for it, because for me, it was just doing my job. In the end, everyone knows, okay, hey, he's there, things are moving forward, things are getting done. The minister has proper support to execute his work. So until we develop a system, right, that there's no big praise being given for any problem or any solution, and it's more seen as the government took care of this problem, right? We're gonna continue having this. Because how much ideas have we already had about the dump? Yeah. I think I hear at least 3. Every time is a different idea. But in the long run, nothing has happened. And we don't only have 1 dump, now we got 2. Yeah. And they're proud to call it by name. Extremely proud. Yes, I can take it. It's my dump. You understand where I'm coming from?
I understand what you mean.
But you see, the problem is, you know what the problem is here? When people turn around and they have this, the radio, they have TV. They could sit down and talk. I want solutions. Don't even come tell me about what a problem is. I want to hear the solutions. I want to hear how we are going to get it done. That's all, nothing else. Otherwise, you're wasting my time. When I have a conversation with my wife and she come and she tell me, hey, and this and this, I like, so how will it be solved? Give me the solution. Tell me where you need me, what you need me to do to make it happen. That's all I'm interested in. Nothing else.
So is it good?
Yeah.
Okay. So today is election. The poor man, the poor fellow. Tomorrow as MP, I believe you want to be an MP. I don't think you want to go minister. That's my mean a lot. But we're gonna stay on the MP. So to January 11, big day for me. But use are empty. The poor fellow on the street, the minimum wage. We see the Minister Omar raise it by phase we can go up. But the poor man, what he should expect for the new government with up anything new as MP? The poor man maybe tomorrow morning we get up, he can't buy a bread.
So now you have three things. I ask everyone, what are the three biggest bills here on St. Martin? That side.
Yes.
Okay. And the first one is rent. Everyone says rent. My slogan last election was rent too damn high.
I remember that one.
And people didn't understand because it is not a system that they grew up in. Okay. Here on the front side, I think you do get renting subsidies. Okay. Holland, renting subsidies. Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, renting subsidies. In St. Martin, it doesn't exist because the rental committee, right, lacks proper legislation to be able to move these things forward. The tax system doesn't work. No one knows who's renting on the Dutch side and who's renting out. So that plan is already there. I have my whole plan because I worked it out from last election. So to answer your question, if I end up in Parliament, that would be one of the things that I would push, okay, which is rent. The next thing is the next bill. Everyone says GB. Okay, strange enough, like I said on the other radio show, on the French side, water is expensive, electricity is cheap. And on the Dutch side,
It's the other way around.
it's the other way around.
That depends what you call electricity cheap, eh? Because no, everything gone up.
Comparing to that side,
Yeah.
you're better off sleeping in the heat and don't put on no lights in the day. So in June, we took a trip, the minister and myself, we took a trip to Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, we visited a facility that ran purely on LNG, liquid natural gas.
Okay.
Okay. Their electricity bill went down by 40, 50%.
Okay.
The same company wants to bring a transshipment point here, which will then be able to facilitate the Dutch side of the island, right, and convert either GB or put a whole new plant that we could burn LNG instead of diesel, which is a lot friendlier. Now, how this came about was that every cruise convention that I've been to since sitting in office, the main topic was LNG. All ships now are trying to convert to LNG because it is cleaner energy, one. But we have a problem here in St. Martin. When the cruise ships come, they can't plug into our grid. So they are burning fuel right there. Now they have something they call a carbon footprint that they leave behind, and they have to pay for that.
Yes.
Okay. Now you realize that if you want ships to actually come to St. Martin and home port here, which will increase flights to St. Martin, hotel stays on St. Martin, car rentals on St. Martin if they come a day or two before, restaurants visited. You have to find a way of dealing with that. The way of dealing with that is LNG, but they could also refuel here if we bring LNG to the country. Okay. Then the third bill is food, and I don't understand why we are purchasing food from the US while we could get food from the whole Caribbean. So we flew to the Dominican Republic and had a couple conversations with the Ministry of Agriculture and came up with a lot of nice ideas. Okay, and I flew to St. Kitts. I met Minister Samal Duggins there. He's the Minister of Agriculture. And big up, because his family is from right there, St. James.
Okay.
Washington, Brenda, Skanky, Brenda is his aunt. So we had proper, nice conversations, came up with an idea to even sign an MOU that would help. We would be able to purchase food goods and produce from St. Kitts. Whatever is grown here, the idea is that government makes sure that every farmer here, his produce are sold here in the country, and whatever is left, they could be sold around that. If we get a batch all together, we put money together and buy 1, 2, 3 badges, we could purchase a lot more food at a cheaper price and sell right here in the Caribbean. And it will be fresher because it didn't come from so far away, you know. So these are 3 things that I've, you know, literally worked on. I have one more that maybe tomorrow I might be able to break on it, you know, because there's one little thing I'm waiting, but it is a cruise conversion plan. Whenever you hear somebody say, "Oh, we got 2 million cruise passengers," I had a business in town. And I saw those cruise passengers walk out, and all they did was spend $1.
Not just 600.
You know, they drink one Coke and they would even share it, ask you for a cup with ice with it. You know, so the idea is to be able to entice people to come back to the island, people that actually came via the cruises by offering them discounts on hotels, condos, villas, resorts, car rentals, cruises, airlines. And it is a business that is known to me because I was into that type of business. Okay. So all we're waiting for is tell him. So tell him, let's go, get it done.
No, tell him it let me don't say what I was thinking.
Tell him is our local carrier.
The CEO was at NA, so you're gonna go more faster.
Actually, I'll tell you the truth. I like I told you, I have no problem working with anyone across the border. Once their goal is aligned with mine, which is work for country. And I've never had any kind of feeling that, you know, that is not it. Sometimes you feel like, okay, you want to shine, but I have a way of making everybody shine. Everybody gonna shine, you know.
Except you.
Again, at the end of the day, right? Once it's done, I happy. You know, the LNG plan is a plan that literally needs almost 3 or 4 ministers to sign up on. Okay. You know, and Parliament to be part of it, NGB. So that needs to happen because if it don't happen, I guarantee you within 10 years, the cruise ships will find it too expensive to come here. And they're already seeing it. They're saying, hey guys, if you don't do this, we're going to have a problem. So then what are you going to call your main source of income?
Obviously, we don't see. Janet?
Yes, I know you work, as you said also, you work in education for many years. And do you have a plan for education? What's your vision? Because I know you're passionate, you're very much involved with young people, and I know you have a plan for education. What's the plan?
So I want, for example, I want that government-owned companies, I want them to do scholarships. I want when you have a CEO, a CFO from any company that comes in from away, I want him to come knowing that his time here is limited. I want him to know that within 3 years, 5 years, I have someone coming back to take that job, even if he's going to work side by side with him for a year or two, you know, for the experience. But I want those positions to be held by our own people. Now, mind you, watch yourself when you talk to me about our own people. Okay? I have a problem with that when people talk about our own people, because what is our own people?
Well, tell us.
In my opinion, everything and everyone that calls St. Martin home and wants to contribute to St. Martin, right, in my opinion, is from here. And if you turn around and you make me feel any different, you know what will happen? I will stop caring about it. And Janet could attest to that. How they, you know, different nations would rep their Independence Day, their Flag Day, comparing to how it was treated or how they treat St. Martin Day. And these were kids that were born here. Born here. Janet and I had a student that was born here, graduated valedictorian. For some reason, his documents were not in order. He got deported to Haiti.
Yeah.
Never been to Haiti in his life. Today he's dead. I got a picture of him with a bullet in his head.
Whoa.
Was that a Haitian child that died? As a little man boy. Because when he made 18, he could have gotten a Dutch passport. It would have said, born St. Martin, nationality Dutch. But we treated him as a foreigner, and we lost a brilliant young man. Brilliant. The boy was valedictorian and he didn't even try. He was valedictorian and he didn't even try.
But the things change now because now you bring me more deeper because now when you watch every party, they make sure they have a Haitian or Spanish descendant on the list. The mentality change for you. Or we just I will put it so like the French soy. French soy, because me so whatever I say during that mic, I could back it up when I come up from there. Every politician from the French side will put a Haitian descendant, a Spanish descendant, which nationality we have again. Some used to put Indian too, but they don't put it no more. I don't know why. But they put it just to bring votes. And after that, they don't care.
They drop you.
Yes.
Like a hot
even
bread.
forget you.
So now look at the up party. Okay? The up party, we have Indian, we have Colombian, we have American / Savannah, we have Haitian, we have Dominican, we have Kititian, we have everything. You know why? Because Parliament should be a representation of the people.
When you see what you're saying, yo,
and not only put them, but they, everyone has the own opinion. Okay. My problem is not integrating.
Yeah.
So if you come here as a person from Somalia and you want to stay in your little bubble, I have a problem with that. Okay. I want you to learn the culture. I want you to learn our language. I want you to be able to represent, remain yourself, your own identity, but still know what is mine. Don't trample on me trying to be you.
But this is not too late because I watch it for the French side too because the French side always say, today you have a Latin, like Santo Domingo flag day, Haitian flag day, St. Kitts, everybody play the flag. For me, you need to start up with the new generation coming up. Is that at school? If the school in them do not teach the heritage of the country, because at home, all the mother and father do it. Right or wrong?
Right.
So I believe,
So you know what I did in school? I would start every class. My first class, the first time I met the class, I would tell them, please stand. I said, if you were born here, remain standing. And out of classes of 22, 23, 24 students, you would see maybe 14, 13 would remain standing. I said, if one of your parents was born here, please remain standing. And you see 6 or 7. And I would say, if you see one of your grandparents was born here, remain standing. I'm still to see one in the 7 years that I taught in that school. That tells me something. And I told them, I said, I want you to treat each and every one the same way you would have wanted them to treat you. Treat your parents or treat your grandparents when they came here to St. Martin. So even when I walk inside to the supermarket, if it's a supermarket that I walked into the first time, I said, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Or I ask the name and I address them by their name. And sometimes they tell me an English name. I said, no, I want a Chinese name. Because I want to,
Mm-hmm.
But once you do that, I address the person by his name. Because if he would call me Blackie or Negro, I would be highly offended. So why do it to him?
Yeah.
So we have so much problems that in small little St. Martin, and we are picking and looking for confusion where it is not necessary. We are one people, and until we see this as one people, we are going to continue fighting each other. And we are one Caribbean people. One.
You was listening to my show last week. I was talking about that. Jeanette?
So scholarships,
Yes.
scholarships from government-owned companies, guaranteed jobs back with those scholarships signed when you're leaving. Okay, um, scholarship debt forgiveness if you work X amount of years in the field back on the island, because scholarship payback scholarship could be held for a lot of people.
Okay.
Okay, I think a redistribution of the ministry is important. Right now, we have a Minister of Health and Labor. We have a Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Aviation, Transport, and Telecommunications. We have BRAMI, which is Housing and Infrastructure. We have Finance. We have Justice. I think the Minister of Education should be the Minister of Labor.
Okay.
It should be one minister. Only if you know the job market today, you can send kids away and know what's coming back. But now you are going to ensure that that child that you send away has a job coming back. I believe the Minister of Health should be the Minister of Sports. I believe the Minister of Finance should be the Minister of Economic Affairs. I believe the Minister of Justice should not only be the Minister of Justice, but also Minister of Rehabilitation. We are creating monsters on St. Martin because we want to be a little New York. And we have to define what we want to be, where we want to be as a country. But in the meantime, we need to make sure that our people are taken care of. If you go inside the casinos, like I said today, go and see who in there. Go inside and see who in the casinos. It's not tourists, it's locals. Extremely addicted to gambling. And I don't mind if you have a habit, but it shouldn't cause your kids any harm. And again, I think this going to be my best interview. You know why?
Thank you.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because a lot of people is think the same thing, you know. But I'm glad Janet there. Janet could tell you how much kids I have fed inside of that school, how much uniforms I have bought, how much school shoes I have bought inside of that school. Literally, I would run. They used to stand up by the canteen and wait for Mr. La Cruz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And I fed and I fed and I fed kids because I know what it was like to be hungry. So today, my greatest heart's desire is that every kid could concentrate in school because he got a full time.
Because normally the Prime Minister, because he follow in politics, the Prime Minister says they have a program each school normally to feed the kids, because she heard like other candidates were saying they have food, they want to have program, but those schools don't have a program. Is true or not?
It have schools that have programs. Okay. It have schools that they have programs that are run by non-profit organizations. You know, I just for Christmas, my wife and I we did with my foundation. We did a William Alexander School. We give the whole school lunch, Christmas lunch.
Okay.
And funny, someone make a comment and said, after election, I wonder if they will do it. So me now personally, you know, I don't answer those kind of people. I have no time for that. But my wife, who had a scholar, Petty 2.4. She pull up pictures from 3-4 years ago and tag the people in it and say that 3, 4, 5 years ago, this is what we was doing long before we was in any kind of politics. So it's not about just a lunch or breakfast in school, you know, because when the kids go back home, they stay hungry. So we need to, as a government, we need to start to pay attention to not only, you know, getting a piece of bread in school, but making sure that home you have enough to eat and then move forward.
So how you see the mother and the father, because sometimes mother and father give up. The child just come to school, and do you feel we need to create, I don't know, a school to educate the mother and the father too? Because no kids making kids, and after we see the results in the street of the behavior in school, how as an MP tomorrow will you do a law, or you have to go sit down with the Minister of Education and say, listen, we need to start to hold this, fix this, or you see?
So if I take care of bringing down your rent, if I take care of your GD, and I take care of the prices of your food, you don't need two jobs. So now I could hold you accountable if I find your kids on the street 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or on a block sitting down, because I can provide, or I as a government have helped you to be able to provide for your kids, and sex education at the right age, is extremely important. In Holland, I saw kids from time they're 8, 9 years, they are taught, what is your body, what is sex. And I've never seen a Dutch girl, and I don't say that it doesn't exist, but I've never seen a Dutch girl under 18, 19, 20 years pregnant, because they protect themselves. What we teach our kids is, to abstain from sex, stay away from sex. Oh, it's a taboo. But what do? They still go out, they do it, and they get pregnant. And then it's too late. The child has already created a mess out of their lives. Fathers, you're not going to like me. You are not going to like me. Because I would definitely want to bring some real hard laws on fathers taking care of their kids. And we're talking about US type laws. You get locked up. Okay. You can't renew your passport. We take your salary. Child support on the Dutch side is a joke.
Yeah.
A joke.
No,
I've heard people say, please go to Voogdrijraad, so child services, and report me, please.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you're getting 200 guilders, 230 guilders. You can't walk out, a mother can't walk out of the supermarket with 3 bags with that. You can't. So I don't understand that, because my kids come first. My kids come first. I have a lot of children.
Why you got 20?
I have 7 kids.
Okay, that's a lot.
But
that's a lot.
Listen, I have 7 kids, but if it is one thing that I carry with a lot of pride, right, is that I take care of my kids. That's 100%. I would rather not go out and spend time with my kids. My kids just tell you plain out when I ask them, who you love the most? Daddy! So I can't understand that. I can't relate to, a father that abandons his child, because at the end of the day, my mom told me when I got my first son, she said, you are a man at night. You're going to be a man a day. You are going to work. So these are things that we need to teach our kids and hold them accountable for.
Janet?
Yes. We know that we touch on education, we talk about health, but what about after school activities? Because after school activities are very much important for the development of a child, because I realize when a child is in different after school activities, such as even if it's helping with schoolwork, football, basketball, anything, any kind of sports, they refrain from going in maybe into drugs, being on the block, etc. But not all parents force afford to put their children in after school activities because it's cost. What is the plan? Because I know some can afford it, some can't. And always those who can, they try to excel, and those who maybe, what is the
So
should we not ask you? I realize
they're saying that
there's no sound.
no sound on the line.
Sound on your line.
So most of the projects that I've engaged in the last year are all either related to sports or afternoon school or programs. I don't know if you remember Martel Hartley.
Yes.
Good. So Martel is a young man that we both taught, and he spends his afternoon at the basketball court in St. Peter's. And literally 40, 50 kids, he teach him playing basketball.
That's a total two.
Excuse
Yes,
me?
my uncle, number two of my uncle, he said.
And but he has his own family, he has a wife, has his child, but no funding. So every time I pass, I saw him, and he's like my son. So I got out to the community, everyone, all the businesses in the community, and I told them, I said, listen, I need donations from you guys on a monthly basis so we could pay him a salary. Because once these kids are on the basketball court, they're not breaking into your stores or your homes. They're not sitting on the block smoking marijuana. Not I have a problem with marijuana, but it is your choice if you want to and when, at what age. I don't want to expose my kids to it because I don't think it is necessary. So the redivision of ministers or the portfolios of the ministers will help a lot with that. If you have a minister of labor and education, then government receives funds from labor permits, which could now be used also for education. Health funds are received could go into sports. But when you have a ministry, for example, education, youth, culture, and sport that doesn't produce any money, then no money is spent on it. And I know, and I don't know the figures out of my head, but I could almost guarantee most of the money that goes into finance, from the coffers to education, is just basically to pay salaries. And same tax. If we tax sugar products, you drink soda?
No.
You drink juice?
I don't drink that often.
No, but you drink juice? Yeah? You drink it, a lot of sugar still. But if I tell you if I'm going to charge you extra 25 cents for the juice that you are drinking, will you stop drinking the juice?
Yeah, it depends how you drink the juice. It depends. If you're drinking juice every day, you're not somewhere you're not stop. If you drink a
For
juice
25 cents? Because when you buy the juice in the supermarket, it costs you $1. Soda in the supermarket costs you $1.25. But when you go to a restaurant, you pay $3 for it, and you don't say nothing about it. So if I charge you 25 cents more for it, and I allocate that 25 cents to create a state-of-the-art diabetes center here on the market, then we don't have to send our people away. But we could have medical tourism, but we could have people from the Caribbean coming in here. If I turn around and I tax you $1 on cigarettes, in Aruba, a pack of cigarettes, I think is 18, 19 guilders. Here's $2.50. I charge you $1 more for it. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But if I ask you for $1 more, the smokers ain't gonna stop smoking. But now I take that $1 and I create a state-of-the-art cancer center. So now when my people are sick, we don't have to send them nowhere, but we could detect cancer a lot earlier also, so less people would die from it. And if I tax casino winnings and prostitution, tax it. People might say, yeah, La Cruz, you don't have a problem with that because you have none of those habits. That's not my fault. But it is an addiction. So once you turn around now, and you could put that money into getting our people proper health and rehabilitation. So I have a lot of ideas and things that are most of my ideas. I make sure that I know where the money is going to come from to execute the idea because I know how government functions.
Yeah.
You know, the first thing is we don't have the money for that. No, let's create it. I have a list of things that we could do to bring money to the country. I remember the Minister of Finance walked in a day and he said, you know, hey, we need to have some ideas. I say, you want this? And he looked at it, he said, yes, bring it, you know? And I was like, no, hold on. Take it easy. Take it easy. You understand?
Yeah.
So that is the type of person I am, you know, solution oriented and passionate, extremely passionate about anything I do. And I push to the ultimate and I don't care what anyone thinks or says, you know, and you can't break me. You can't break me. I've been already to the lowest that I think a man could ever be.
Yeah.
So there's nothing you could say about me.
So today, do you believe new government of whatever coalition, because we don't go to a coalition, that's part of the culture, but tax reform, do you believe the country needs a tax reform?
Extremely, extremely. A small example with the renting committee. Okay, 65% of your rental income is taxable. Okay. But it's not collected because we don't know who rents out. Simple things like that. These are things like, you know, if I would turn around and say tomorrow, hey, everyone that is renting, within the next 6 months, we're going to start with a project to give renting subsidies. So we need you to come in and let us know where you live, who you live, how you pay rent, and how much rent you're paying to. You better believe it. We don't know everybody who pays rent.
For that.
You know,
for that.
but the twist to that is the rented subsidy. So I am renting from Janet, and Janet. I get rented subsidies because I live in Janet's home.
That's an
Okay.
example. I
Yes.
don't own anything on it.
That's
So
what you say.
so Janet now, she falls in a tax bracket. She has to pay taxes on her rental income if it's according to law, because we're going to also control it in the sense of points, and I'll explain that in a minute. But once Janet now has an apartment, and I am giving rental subsidies for living in her apartment, if I turn around and I owe her rent and I leave and I go live by you, that renting subsidies that I should have received will go to Jeanette,
Okay.
and pay the rent that I owe there. So I don't get rental subsidies. Now Jeanette could actually turn around and say, okay, I don't have to ask for $1,000 for an apartment that is actually worth 600 because I have to cover my mortgage, because I know that I'm eventually still going to receive the monies that is owed to me. You know, and the system is there. You just Google it, www.huursubsidie.nl. Everything is there exactly how it works. You don't have to recreate the wheel. This is not something that I have, you know, created. We might need to tweak it a little. If a house, you have a house in Kebe, it starts with 1 point. A house in Guanabé starts with 3 points. If a house has garage, it gets a point. If it has parking, if it has internet, if it has a septic, if it has yard, how close the supermarkets are. So the more facilities that you have to your apartment, the more you could request in rent. Okay. The whole idea to the end for me would be that everyone does not pass a 65% of their income paying rent. Okay. That way, in my opinion, they could go to the bank and say, hey, look, listen, this is my salary. If that's the loan, I've been paying 65% of my income in rent, so I could get a mortgage. I want a mortgage. Because I don't want our people to be renting forever. Nothing. No house, no permits, nothing.
Janet?
So, based on everything that we talk about, so we can coming up. So, tell me what's your mission, vision for St. Martin? Where do you see St. Martin in the next 5 to 10 years?
You know, I want, if I remember how it felt 15, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when you spoke of St. Martin, you spoke of it, you know, with pride. Everywhere you went, you know, people would ask you where you from, and you say St. Martin. And they was like, oh, that is such a beautiful place. I wish I could live there. And slowly but surely, you know, you start to lose that. And I want that to be back to number one. I want us to be called the friendly island again. You know, we have a lot of people that come from away that we have allowed them to remain themselves, which is okay, but we forgot to taught them, to teach them what we are and who we are. We were called the friendly island. St. Martin was a friendly island. And sometimes I feel that we've lost that, you know. And I would love to one day know that this is the only flag that we have. But I think that not to say that it is far fetched, you know, because a man needs to dream. But I don't see a father. I don't see a father. And the second main source of income on the Dutch side, you know what I is? Yeah. And everyone saw that when they closed the border. I know the TOT went down a lot. So being raised on the French side, I can't see myself as a person from one side. So I hope that one day we could have one company that runs electricity for the whole island on LNG and not two. That we have, you know, some facilities on the Dutch, some facilities on the French side, and that we only call it now St. Martin or just only Swaliga. That is my dream.
So January 11, why people should vote for you? Number three, number 23, not three, 23 and up party. Why? Because they had the election you were here 4 years ago. Today you are again like you're pushing more harder in your face. So why you talking? You see like you're pushing harder. I don't know how. Yeah, like
No, I don't even think it's a notch. I want to be honest with you. Listen, but the last election, I joined the list really late, and it was something that you know, it wasn't planned. So I didn't have a campaign team, and I didn't have a campaign strategy. You know, I had a nice slogan and an idea because it was something that I was used to dealing with. But this election, I have a extremely strong team. I have political people. I have people that know people. I have people that know me.
But you start your campaign before campaign.
I start my campaign 4 years ago.
I start to follow your move since June last year. So that's what I'm saying. He doing the campaign start before.
And if I tell you that, you know, my team actually cost me.
Okay.
Because I've done so much other things
Mhm.
and not documented.
Okay.
Ain't take no pictures, you know, because I feel uncomfortable giving you food
Yeah.
and taking a picture.
Right.
That is for me, that is a no-no,
Mhm.
you know. And my mom would always say, what a right hand do, the left hand don't need to know.
Yeah.
You know, but I have pictures of, for example, what my truck looked like during COVID with how much food we gave away, you know. It's crazy,
Mhm.
you know, because you find yourself in a situation sometimes where you're like, okay, so what are we going to eat? You understand what I'm coming from? So my campaign started a long time ago. I have a strong team. I have a team on the Dutch side. I have a team on the French side. I have um, an English team. I have a Spanish team. I have a Haitian team. I have people that in the medical field. have people that in justice. I have everybody, right, giving me ideas and telling me what the problems are so we could find solutions. I mentioned it today too, the agriculture policy that now exists on the Dutch side. I took it and went and sat with Benicio Wyatt, and we spent a whole day on it, and we pen it. And they didn't like that, We pen it, we mark it up, and brought it back. But when it came out, it was something that, the farmers were happy with because they had an input in it. And that is the type of person I am. So everyone, I tell everyone, you are most welcome to join my team. You are most welcome to be part of my foundation, which is Home and Stands. It is helping others means everything. And that is all we do. We push, we push, we push. And January 11th, the only thing that you should do is walk into that booth. You look for that green list. You look for that number 23. And you put a little coloring in that circle. Stay inside the circle. Please do not write anything on that document.
Yes, because
do not write Je t'aime la Cruz.
Oh,
I love you, Francisco. I love you, La Cruz. Te amo. Thank you. Don't write anything on it. Just fill in that little circle on number 23 and know that you will have someone in Parliament or even maybe as a minister that will work for you and only you. And that is extremely important.
So what would be your ideal minister member?
I'm a worker. I'm a worker. If I end up in Parliament, I have laws that I think need amending and ideas, and I just mention a bunch of them. But if I go into the ministry, I know that whoever is sitting in Parliament from our party will be able to just hand them over and work on them also. So to me, it doesn't matter. Wherever as a party we think, I will best fit, I will be open to do that. But my preference would be a ministry because I'm a worker.
Janet, I leave you to close down the show tonight.
Well, thank you for coming. That was, you see. So thank you for coming. I hope after election on January 11th, because Gerard and myself will be here until I turn into a pumpkin. So that's by midnight, I think, I don't know, whatever time. So pound your But thank you very much for coming, and hopefully we will be able to see you after election. You're always welcome to Youth Radio. And I think
especially conversation, we
yes,
still there. After election, we still there. We don't go away.
Yes, of course. So yeah.
But I want to tell Janet something.
Go to, because
something we spoke about literally, I think maybe 8-9 years ago.
Okay.
Remember that conversation?
No. I have a shot.
The conversation was, we are going to go into politics. I am going to take over the Dutch side, and she would take over the French side.
Well, she bailing that.
So we I still expect. You understand? I know her personally. I know her as a person. I know her as a teacher. So she will always have my endorsement. On any list she runs there on the French side, because I know that her heart is in the right place.
Well, next election she going to Green Party.
Which Green Party? Oh, that means he's my campaign manager because he got the
Folks, that was folks, listen, that was conversation. In conversation, we don't fight, we have to get the information to the people. So don't forget, January 11, your candidate. What the name is again?
La Cruz,
okay.
Francisco. And let me shout out everybody again, my family on the French side, my family on the Dutch side, my kids who are away studying, my friends, my supporters, my team. Without you, I am no one. I am just a vessel, and the mouthpiece to execute exactly what you guys want us to do, which is build up a better and bigger Senate.
What's candidate number 23
On the
I
United
wish
People's Party.
Party. I wish you the best, and you have to be brave to go in an election. Because I always tell people, talk being a mic is not easy for certain people. Talk to people who don't like you, who don't appreciate you, who don't say, I want to waste my time with you, is not easy. So I would like to congrats you, because it's not easy sometimes, because you're going to hear 2-3 say they don't like what you're proposing, because they're in the old school thing. I just repeating what the minister from me was saying. Yeah, it's true. So congrats, and January 11, you get your seat, so we go bring you back now and tell you why you don't do what you're supposed to do.
Hold me accountable.
We got in that now. We got in that.
She said she making notes already, so
Okay.
you know.
So folks, that's it for us. See us jeudi, Thursday, same place, same people, maybe with a different your style. Listen, folks, I don't know. I just should go see you guys jeudi, and we'll have other candidate in our jeudi. So, sir, be safe on the road. Don't flip if you see they got traffic, because all the candidates say they're gonna fix the road, they're gonna mark the road, they're gonna do all kind of things. So when they get to Parliament, we can fix.
Tell them to follow my page, La Cruz FA, and you're going to see that I do fix roads.
Okay.
Number 20.
Guys, bye.
A pleasant good afternoon to the party. Welcome on behalf of the Voting Bureau on this postulation day. I'd like to give your representative the opportunity to present your list, and then after that, you can say a few words to the public if you'd like. I'll peruse your list very briefly, and while you speak.
People of St. Martin, the wonderful, beautiful, strong, hardworking candidates of the United People's Party, and my deputy leader, my brother and my friend. Today is a very important day for St. Martin, because St. Martin has just presented the list of the most capable, the most dedicated, and the people who love St. Martin so much that despite whatever is said, despite whatever challenges we face, we know that we are the best team to lead this country. St. Martin for a long time has dealt with what? Instability. We solved it. We've dealt with issues and buildings like the hospital being completely stagnant. We started. Today is the day that we begin our journey to finish it, to continue the work of the people of St. Martin in a way that every single voter that casts their vote on one of these wonderful people here, myself and our deputy leader, can be proud, can be confident that for the next 4 years, we will be well represented in the Parliament of St. Martin, and we will be well represented in the government of St. Martin. We are capable, we are dedicated, and our love for St. Martin, no one can ever question. Every day that I come to this Parliament, every day that this minister enters the government building, we have one thing on our mind, one thing in our heart. That's the people of St. Martin deserve good representation. They deserve hard work. They are tired of excuses. And whatever ills any person could have had of any government, one thing they can stay confident in this Parliament and in this government, when you have someone from the United People's Party in there, we get the job done.